Breaking news, Donald Trump just announced that he'll be suspending attacks on Iran for a period of 2 weeks, just 2 hours before his deadline of ending Iran's civilization. He says that after conversations with Pakistani Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif as well as Pakistan's Chief of Military Asif Munir, and also says that it will be a double-sided ceasefire and that the reason he's doing so is because he has already achieved all of his military targets against Iran, and also says that he received the 10-point proposal from Iran and Trump believes it's a workable basis on which to negotiate. Remember that Iran has laid out its terms to end the war, which are the end of war on all theaters, not just against Iran, which include Gaza and Lebanon, compensation for the damages, as well as the world recognizes Iran's control over the Strait of Hormuz. So it looks like when Iran gave their demands, Donald Trump wanted to negotiate, but he wanted to make it seem like he is in the position of strength. That's why he did this whole song and dance today about ending their civilization, knowing full well that he would have to listen to Iran's demands.
Hey, Shalom, Israel first. I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, El Shai, Bashem, Kakadash. I want to see Apostle Ezra Millstone. Peace, citation to one third of Israel. For this lesson, I'm going to make a quick video. It's going in, I'll probably title it The Importance of Knowing Prophecy. All right. And basically, you know, you see this I think it was, a couple days ago, Trump, he gave his little tweet. He said, I'm about to bomb Iran. You know, this whole civilization is going to be bombed, you know, if Iran don't open the Strait of Hormuz, which was capped the whole time. But you actually had people that believe these threats because ultimately they don't understand prophecy. They don't understand that before the nukes fly off, that the MOTB, you know, the mark of the beast has to be, you know, made mandatory, you know, throughout the whole world. All right, and has that been made mandatory? No. So we, you know, us that know prophecy, you know, begin with the men of the Lord, you know, which, you know, that's what we are. That's what we hope to be. Begin with the elders, apostles, GMS on down. You know, we weren't bugging out. You know, we weren't in doubt that, oh yeah, Iran's gonna get bombed. It wasn't. All right. And this video I just played, it says, you know, basically talks about a peace agreement, which there's no peace. You know, the end of the war is not gonna take place. It's only gonna continue. All right. So let me get some scriptures and we'll call it a video. But this is 2 Thessalonians 2 and or 1 Thessalonians, the 5th chapter. Let's get that. All right, this is 1 Thessalonians 5 and start at 1. It says, but of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. All right, and that's the times we're living in. We living in the times of, you know, Yahweh's return. All right, and it's gonna be like a thief in the night. Look at the mindset of the people. You know, these people, they have the talks of the Lord isn't in these people's minds. You know, it's gas prices, this, that, and third, and establishing themselves here in Babylon. You know, seeing my plans, this, that, and third down the line. Like, that shit's all gonna get cut off. All right, because we're in talks of nuclear warfare. All right, so what is your degree? What is, you know, you owning a house and all these things here gonna mean when the nuclear missiles get shot off? That shit ain't gonna mean nothing. All right. But it says, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. All right, so that's the talks, you know. As the video I just played, it's talking about, yeah, Trump, he's talking about peace deals, this, that, and third. Iran's talking about peace deals, but if it actually goes through, just know Babylon and Israel, they're gonna shoot missiles. This is the hammer of the earth, you know. They're not gonna fucking. This is the devil we're talking about, you know. This is the devil that the Bible, speaks of, and we're not ignorant of that, you know. Reading on down, it says, but ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day shall overtake you as a thief. All right, so we're not in the dark as these people in the world are that have no clue, no understanding or idea of what's going on. We understand what's going on. you know. So say if they do sign a peace deal, that shit's gonna be voided because ultimately Babylon has an agenda. You know, the top wicked elite have an agenda, all right, and they're using Babylon to fulfill that. You know, Babylon and Israel. You know, because it, why did they start the war to begin with? You know, and it just goes. It just further proves to you that Babylon is that the hammer of the earth. All right, and you know, look at Babylon's allies. You know, Babylon talking about America. Look at their allies. You know, France reportedly took their gold out of the treasury. All right. So ultimately, everything is being brewed up to where, you know, the world is turning against Babylon. All right. The world is seeing Babylon, you know, America for what it truly is. You know, but reading on down, it says, "Ye are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober." So that's what we watching. We watching, and we seeing how this is gonna play out. Because ultimately, we understand the end all be all, or you know, the end all goal is that this place is gonna be destroyed. You know these prophecies are gonna take place, but you gotta watch and see how the Lord, wants it to play out. So for they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. But let us, who are of the day, be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for a helmet, the hope of salvation. All right, that's what we're hoping for. We're hoping for these things to escalate, because the sooner, the better. And the sooner, the sooner this place gets taken down, the sooner, we get beamed up, we get salvation. All right, that's our hope. All right, but it says, "For the Most High not appointing us to wrath, but to obtain salvation by our Lord Yahushua Mashiach." All right, but let me go to Revelation 7. All right, because going back to Trump's his tweet, he said, basically, the whole civilization of Iran is about to be decimated. All right, and that was cap, because it's 5:26 right now, Mountain Standard Time, AZ. It's 8:26 in Eastern Time right now. Where they at? All right, the nukes ain't get shot off. All right, so it just goes to show you that, and to have a sound mind, you have to understand prophecy. Hence, Isaiah 33:6, "Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is the treasure." All right, so these people in the world, they don't understand prophecy. They think that, because I saw this one cat, one of the elders from GMS Kansas City. He made a video of this one dude, and he reports what's going on and whatnot. And that dude, he has friends that are Iranians, and they were actually scared. They were sick. They were shooken up, and they were wondering, is Trump actually gonna bomb Iran? Which he didn't. He's not going to, because it's not time for that. All right, the time for nuclear missiles to be shot off is not yet. But it says, Revelation 7:7, it says, "And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind shall not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor any tree." All right, it was those winds. It says, let me keep reading. It says, "And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having sealed the living power, and he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads." All right. So ultimately, the winds are the destroying winds. All right. You read about that in Isaiah 7. Let me get that. I think it's Jeremiah Salakia. Jeremiah 51:1, it says, "Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I'll raise up against Babylon." Babylon, talking about America, "and against them that dwell in the midst of them, that rise up against me, a destroying wind." And that destroying wind is talking about the nuclear missiles. All right, so, and ultimately the nuclear missiles ain't gonna get shut off, because if one nuclear missile gets shot off, best believe these other allies, they gonna shoot their missiles off. All right, it's gonna be all out warfare, but it's not time for that yet. All right, it's not just gonna be, oh, America's just gonna overkill Iran and Iran's allies ain't gonna do nothing about it. No, these the missiles gonna get shot off, but it's not time for that. All right, hence the term, or hence the title of the lesson. The importance of understanding prophecy. All right, but ultimately the elect still have to be sealed. All right, and which we're approaching that. All right, and how are the elect being sealed? Through this word, through the preaching of the word. All right, this is Matthew 24. This fucking dog, bro. Slovakia. This is Matthew 24 and 14. It says, "And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come." All right, and what's the end? That nuclear missiles. How is Shah returning? All right, and this gospel of the kingdom. The truth about Yahweh Bashim Al Shai is out. The Israelites. And this goes to show you, it's not talking about Christianity, because Christianity's been here for quite a long time, and the end still hasn't come. But yet, the truth about the Israelites has come out, and even Vocab Malone said Christianity has been declining rapidly. All right, because no one's going for that shit. It's bullshit at the end of the day. All right, the prophets are out there, and the Lord. He's showing who he's dealing with at the end of the day. All right, let's get that. What the apostles last. This is 1 Corinthians 4:9. Sit your ass down, eh? Shut up. Fuck. Slocky. Damn demons. Start crying and shit when the video won't start playing. This is 1 Corinthians 4:9. It says, "For I think that the Most High set forth us, the apostles last, as they were appointed to death. For we are made a spectacle unto the world, and to angels, and to men." All right, and ultimately that's how the men are. That's the part of the preaching of the word. That's the part of the humility that we have to endure. Is we're gonna be looked at as the bottom of the barrel, scum of the earth, the offscuring of the world. All right, but that's how that's a part of prophecy, because you read Wisdom of Solomon in the 5th chapter, then let's get that. Wisdom of Solomon 5:1, it says, "Then shall that righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors." Talking about the elect, It says, "When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all they look for." It says, "And they repenting," that's they. It's talking about those that was talking shit, those that didn't take heed to the words of the Lord, those that didn't, basically those that didn't want to take heed to the words of the Lord, It says, "And they are repenting and groaning for anguish of spirits to say within themselves, This was he whom we had sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach. We fools counted his life madness and his end to be without honor." All right, so that's how they're going. That's ultimately how they're going to think of us until these judgments start popping off, and then once they start seeing that, damn, like this is who the Lord is dealing with. I gotta try to jump ship, but for a lot of these people, it's gonna be too late, because it's only for the elect. All right. Now, granted, you're going to have the elect, some elect members that going to come in at the last hour, but that's not for everybody. A lot of people, they gotta die. All right. And that's what, the prophets, are out there warning for. That's what the men of the Lord are out there to warn you for. All right. But, let me select you. I kind of got off track. But let me go to Second Ezra. I believe it's the 4th chapter. All right, Second Ezra 4 and 36. All right, because this is Ezra's. This is Uriel explaining to Ezra's. On how the Lord, how basically prophecy works. All right, because let me just read it. It says, Um, 2 Ezra 4:36, and it says, "And unto these things Uriel the archangel gave him answer and said, even when the number of seas is filled in you, for he had weighed the world in the balance. By measure hath he measured the times, and by number hath he numbered the times, and he doth not yet move, and he doth not move nor stir them, till the said measure be fulfilled." And we read in 2 the 7th chapter, uh, basically destruction is not going to take place until the elect are sealed. So therefore, there's other prophecies that have to take place. Um, the famine of the word, persecution, Jacob's trouble, you know, and we're building, we're at the build up point to that. All right. So, but ultimately, understanding prophecy gives you a sound mind, because you understand that, one, this is not the end all be all yet. Even Yahushua said that. This is just the beginning of sorrows. Matthew 24 and I started at 6. It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. All right. So we're not supposed to fret. We're not supposed to be troubled. Because one, first and foremost, the Lord got us. But and two, we things are still operating. All right. We not in the time of full on nuclear warfare right now. All right, but trust and believe it's coming though. It says, "For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." All right. It says, "For nation shall rise up against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences, and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrows." All right, and famine, you can still go to the grocery store and still get food, at a snap of fingers. Pestilences, there's talks of a new variant for the C19, so it's only gonna get worse. All right, so if you think that Trump is gonna do something that is not according to biblical prophecy, or Slocky, if you think Trump is gonna do his own will, it's not gonna happen, because at the end of the day, everyone's subject to the will of, to the will of the Lord. All right. This Proverbs 20 and 24. It says, "Man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way?" All right. So, Trump, he talking shit, blah, 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 but that's not what's written. So therefore, you're not going to do what the Lord have you. You're not going to do what the Lord doesn't have written. These missiles ain't going to get shot off. Like, even beautiful example, the water up from outside. There was times where I believe missiles were shot off, but these so the missiles, and these are like old accounts, but basically the chariots came and intervened, and basically took the missiles down, because why? It's not time yet. All right, prophecies have to take place. Yahushua even said, "One jot or one tittle shall not." Let me get that. Matthew 5 and 18, it says, "For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass away, not one jot or one tittle shall no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled." So everything in the scriptures have to be fulfilled. There's not going to be everything's. There's not going to be one prophecy. There's not going to be one stone unturned, for lack of better words. All right. So people thinking that, oh, Trump is going to do this. He's not going to do anything but what the Lord has him do. All right. And that's in his prophecy. All right. Proverbs 21:1, it says, "The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will." All right. So it says, "Every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord pondereth the hearts." So the word ponder right quick. And I'll end the lesson off. Ponder, it says to estimate the worth of, to appraise, to weigh, poise, to hang, cause to hang, to draw, stretch. All right, to judge. All right, so yes, ultimately, if it's not the Lord's will, it's not gonna happen. All right, but we know what the Lord's will is, and that's prophecy. All right, so hopefully with this, it was well said and edifying. Lastly, I want to give all praise and glory and honor to Yahweh Bashem El Shai Bashem Kakodash. Next time.